love how it can be just totally fine, but the second that I pull out into traffic, it starts pouring down rain. If that's not a metaphor for how this month is going right now, yeah, I don't know what is. You guys already know about the car accident, but what I haven't told you is some other juicy details that will hopefully be resolved by the time this video comes out. So I have been putting a lot of trust and faith in this final check that was supposed to come in from my last job yesterday. It did show up. However, the company that I worked for grossly underpaid me. Let me put it to you this way, okay? My last 2 weeks at this job, I worked 43 hours each. That is almost 90 hours. If you don't know, a standard work week is 40 hours. That's 6 hours of overtime. All right? I was making $20 an hour at that place, $30 an hour overtime pay. The number that this company cut me a check for was insultingly low. It was probably about 50% of what they actually owe me. It was ridiculous. And on Monday, I am going to have some words with some people because at this point, I'm so done with this company. The way that they run their business, I don't agree with whatsoever. I'm trying really hard not to say what the company's name is because I'm trying to be professional here, but I don't have very nice things to say about how the company is run, and I especially don't have very nice things to say about how they pay their employees and how supposedly we weren't allowed to talk about how much we made while we worked there, because apparently that was against company policy, even though that's illegal. You can't tell your employees not to do that. But I'm trying to keep things as professional as possible. Man, was I pissed when I opened that check on Friday. Wow, I am so glad that I wasn't able to actually say anything to the people because the office at that point was closed. I would have went off, and that wouldn't have accomplished anything. Nothing ever said in anger or anything ever accomplishes anything important. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad that I was able to not talk to those people. But on Monday, I'm sending another email, and I swear if they come back with, well, sorry, but that's your last check, something's going to have to be done. I am bravely making my way over to Hope's house right now with one headlight in the pouring rain. Don't say I ever didn't do anything for you guys, because tonight is January's live stream, where I'm going to talk about what happened with the car and what happened with my final paycheck and everything, and also what's happening with this body shop deal. So I go to the body shop on Wednesday, okay? This is a trusted body shop that our mechanic friend knows. If he trusts them, then I trust them, because he's really knowledgeable about cars and stuff like that. So I go to the body shop. Their quoting software is down, okay? That's fine. You know what? That's okay. It happens. Software goes down. You know, me working in the IT field now, I know all about software going down. I mean, it happens all the time. They say we probably won't be able to get you a quote about the labor and stuff it's going to cost to fix your core support, the part that's broken in my car, until probably, Thursday afternoon. Okay, cool. Thursday afternoon rolls around, still don't see any emails. So Friday I call, they say, yeah, sorry, the quoting software still hasn't been fixed yet. We're working on it though, we'll get you the quote by the end of the day. It's Saturday, I still not have gotten the quote. Everything is hinging on that right now. I need to know how much this is going to cost me. So I can get the damn core support fixed, and when that happens, we can finally get things rolling. With getting the car back together, it's been nearly a week that I've been driving it like this. Like I said, it's drivable. I'm just being super duper careful right now because, like I said, I only have one headlight and it doesn't look very good. And it's pouring down rain right now. So I am not following anyone too closely. I'm going like 40 miles an hour in like a 45 right now. People can get pissed at me if they want, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So like I said, if this thunderstorm right now that's going on is not just a metaphor for what's going on in my life, and if people says that God doesn't have a sense of humor, they are lying to you, because he does, and this sucks. It sucks so bad. I'm trying. I'm keeping my head held high though, folks. Don't ever say that if you're a believer in God that he will not take care of you, because he will. At this point, I'm waiting on a miracle. And it'll happen. it'll happen. I know it will. There's no reason why God would forsake me now. He has not forsaken me ever in my life. There's no reason why he would now. So if any of you guys are Jesus followers out there, a prayer would be very much appreciated. Although I guess by the time you guys see this video, hopefully everything will have worked itself out and my car will be back together. Donald will not be like a pirate. He'll have both his eyes back. But if not, then a prayer would definitely be appreciated. Hey, if you're not a Jesus follower and you're curious what the heck I'm even talking about, DM me on Twitter. We'll talk. I'm more than willing to talk with anyone who's got questions about Christianity and why it is the only true religion out there. So I'd be more than willing to talk with you about that if you're not a follower of the Lord Jesus himself. If you guys were ever wondering what the aftermath of a live stream looks like, looks about like this. Random wires and cables everywhere. Got my camera and my microphone. So professional, I use a bar chair as a tripod. Oh boy. And this is my little ottoman thing that I use for, for operate the mouse, I guess. We've got Bumper here, who's adorable. You got, I did hook up the PS3 tonight, just because I thought we might play something, but we didn't end up playing anything. But it's always nice to just go ahead and have it there. It's my laptop, and then the outlets over there. There's my kind of jerry-rigged streaming setup there for my capture card. We did rearrange the lighting in here. We got a bulb in that lamp, and that lamp used to be right behind me, but we moved it because we wanted to be able to see while we were laying in bed, and there really wasn't any way to do that, so that lamp's over there now. So today's project involves a computer, a Dell Optiplex 780, I'm pretty sure is what this is. This is a desktop computer that my dad brought home from the office years ago. Still going strong, still works, runs Windows 10, totally fine. I bought a cheap set of RAM, 8 gigs of RAM, like 2 or 3 years ago, with the intent of putting it in this machine, because I want to eventually convert this machine to a Plex server that runs just all the time. 4 gigs of RAM would be able to work, but 8 gigs, honestly, is really what you would need for that. So that's what we're going to do today. It's a pretty simple fix. You can see the RAM sticks down in there. Honestly, I was kind of surprised that they're like very accessible from the motherboard. But I'm also just looking at this machine right now just to get familiar with it in case I ever want to do any upgrades to it. There's an extra hard drive bay down there. That's nice. There's a Seagate hard drive in here, which is crazy. It's an extra SATA cable. Honestly, though, the biggest thing in here is the heatsink. I mean, if you look at the fan here, this is the fan. Like, the fan's up here. It's huge. Heatsink's down there. Your processor's down there and everything. That's the biggest component in this entire thing. And it's got a couple of extra... It's got a couple of PCIe slots down here if I ever wanted to put like a graphics card or something in it. I doubt I'd ever do that. A machine like this is an office computer, so it's not really optimized for gaming per se, but the option's there. Well, I just tried to replace the RAM in this, and these modules are too big. If you look, it all goes to where the notch is located. If you look here, so on top is the old RAM, if you look, okay, in front is the new RAM, behind is the old RAM. You see where the notch is located? That notch is important, and it's where the RAM is held in place. The notch on here is too far over. It will not fit in these slots. In order to put those sticks of RAM in there, you'd have to change everything, and I really don't want to do that. So I guess hold on to these, see if I get a machine that'll take them at some point. I doubt it, but I don't know. It was a $2 kit. at a flea market, so I was really kind of just taking a huge risk on that, but it'll be all right. Hello, what are you? You came unplugged from something. That's not good. Well, I just got the quotes back on my vehicle. They printed it on blue paper. Isn't that fun? So, honestly, I am quite pleased with that. The number that they gave me to fix the core support is $1,500. And that's with labor costs and everything. You know what? I was estimating $2,000 to fix the core support at least. And the estimate for part costs is about $600 with hood, bumper cover, headlights, all that shit. So, you know what? I'm actually quite pleased with that number. That I can make work. Once we start getting up into, the $3,000 to $4,000 range, it's getting a little not so doable. I think I can make this work, and I think this is the body shop that I'm going to go with. It's the only one I've looked at so far, but they're the ones who were, one, more than willing to give me an appointment that would work, and two, they actually have a Toyota Avalon, I think it is, that's sitting in their lot right now that's completely junked. That has a core support that's still intact inside of it. So they're probably going to use that whenever I decide to finally drop it off to them. So I think we're going to go with this one. Stuff is getting done. Stuff is going to be fixed on this vehicle. I've been driving it around looking like Ugly Betty for the last week and a half now. And finally we have some progress. I'm happy, but $1,500 is still really expensive. But at least it's better than, $2,500. I'm trying to look at it in the most positive way that I can right now. Well, hello there, everyone. It's been a couple days since I last recorded for this vlog. How's everyone doing? Are you enjoying it so far? I know there hasn't been a lot of fun stuff going on right now. It's actually been not great for us over here at the YouTube channel right now. My car is in the shop right now. That's good. It's going to get the core support fixed. The parts are on their way from Bessler. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, the Toyota Camry will be back together, and it'll look like I'm not driving a shitbox anymore. Right now, I'm just currently getting set up to record for HMR for the first time this year. It is February 6th? And I'm just now getting started on Kipper the Dog home media reviews. So, usually what I end up doing here is I usually have to take I have to use this tripod for other things. So I have to get the microphone lined up with my mouth, because if I don't, I'll get paranoid about sound quality. That should be good. Gotta plug in my little USB connector here, because I'm not cool enough to have an XLR microphone. This is a very professional setup. I've got my laptop sitting on top of my laundry hamper, and I'm just about ready to load Audacity, which is the program that I use to record stuff with. I don't know if you guys were wondering about that, but I don't use any fancy program or anything like that, just Audacity. It's simple. The only settings I really tweak on my microphone is the gain. It's this little knob back here. That's basically how much of your vocals it's pulling into the microphone. So I basically only mess with the gain on this. Can't remember if I've got this set. Yeah, okay. This microphone does have several other settings on it. It's got like settings for if you're just talking into it from the front, which is this little butt icon right there. And then you've got settings for if you're in a big room and need to get an atmosphere of sound. I use that setting primarily if I'm with a big group of friends and we're doing a Let's Play together. But primarily the setting I use is the butt setting, as I call it. This door, it does get obscenely warm in here, which is probably because of the incandescent bulb I've got in this enclosure here. I probably should replace it with an LED, but then it would make everything like super bright, so I guess I'll just deal with it for right now. But it does... It definitely helps in the wintertime, but sucks in the summertime. Is there anything else that you all need to know about my production process? That's pretty much it. I come in here, I get my microphone and everything set up. The acoustics in this room are really good. There's a lot of stuff here that keeps echo from getting out, especially with the door shut. It probably could be better if I put like foam pads up on the walls. I'm not, like I said, I'm cheap, so I'm probably not going to do that. But this setup has worked for the longest time. I think the majority of the sound gets dampened by the close here. So, that's a justification for me keeping all this shit that doesn't fit. Alright, there have been some updates and improvements made to the Plex Media Server PC since I last updated you all on this. First of all, the RAM has been switched out. Those are 2 sticks of 4 gigs of RAM each, making this a 8 gigabyte kit. When I was working on my car with my dad, there was an old Dell PC that was in his office that he was like, yeah, go ahead and scrap it for parts if you want anything from it. So I found a 8 gig set of RAM there, and it fits this motherboard, which is awesome. So that has greatly improved my performance with this guy. It's not a powerhouse by any means, but it improved a lot of little stuff like browsing the web. Because if you didn't know, this model of Dell computer, this is a Optiplex 780. I don't know if you can see that. It has a little badge there. There you go. Kind of see it there. Optiplex 780. This only shipped with 3 gigabytes of RAM. Standard. And if you're wondering, here's the original RAM right here. That's 2 gigs and 1 gig. And they're not even from the same company. This is Samsung RAM, and this is from some company I've never heard of, Kingston RAM. So not only was the RAM not from the same company, which you really shouldn't do, you shouldn't mix match your RAM. There was only 3 gigs that came standard here, which is insane to me. In the world of 32 gigs and even 64 gigs of RAM, only having 3 made this kind of difficult to use. The big thing, though, this is the thing I've been waiting for the last few weeks. I finally have an internal Blu-ray drive, an LG Blu-ray drive here. Where's the model number? There it is. It's a WH14NS40. The reason I bought this is because this drive supposedly supports Libre drive mode when you rip Blu-rays through Make MKV. Libre drive means that I'm able to rip 4K discs. I hope that's the case. I bought this drive based on a couple of recommendations from some YouTube channels I watched that rip 4K content. Epos Vox was the largest one that I found that said that this drive works. So we're going to see. If you'll notice, I have an extra drive bay right there. So we're going to take this old DVD drive up here. I don't know what this is supposed to connect to. It's always been unplugged on the motherboard, so I don't know where it's supposed to go. But there's that. We're going to take this old drive here, move it down to bay number 2, and put the beautiful Blu-ray drive up here in bay 1. Eventually, another upgrade that I'd like to do is swap out this hard drive for a solid-state drive, because that would make this boot a lot faster and run faster too. But that's an upgrade that I'll do down the road. It doesn't need to be done right now, but we definitely need this. Actually, the RAM was the number one thing that needed to be changed first, and that's done. This is kind of secondary, and then solid-state drive is third. But progress is coming along. Actually, no, Wi-Fi was the first thing that we needed, because I couldn't run this as a server without internet. Alright guys, I just want to give you all a brief tour of my new apartment. I've actually just moved recently. So, if you look behind me, here's the door to get in. And then, like, this apartment it's actually very spacious for what it is. We have a sink in place of like a dining room table or something, and then the best seat in the house. So yeah, that's my new apartment, guys. Like and subscribe. This was so dumb. Why did I think this would be a good idea?
Go, bitch.
Oh, dude, you go faster too.
Oh.
Dude, he said no.
Go back.
Yeah, come back.
Get him,
Turn around.
get him. Oh. Get him. They change fast,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Look at that. Oh.
Ooh, they on your ass.
Oh, they quiet. Dude, you got hit by a three-way.
We've had some more progress since the last time I updated you here on this vlog. I can't remember if I showed this off or not, but I do have an extra HP monitor that I've been using to operate my new server. A lot of people say that you should operate your servers, quote-unquote, headlessly, meaning I should operate it through like a remoting in software. I don't want to pay for that, so I've just got this little rack shelf here. My printer was on top of this, now it's down here. And now I've got an extra keyboard and mouse, and I can operate my server like any other computer. So that's fun. You guys remember my little USB dongle I was hyping up in the last clip? This died. I don't know what's wrong with it. I've reinstalled the drivers on this thing several times, unplugged it, replugged it back in, used multiple USB ports. It doesn't work. So I bought another one for like 10 bucks. I just love wasting money on cheap Wi-Fi adapters. And of course, its drivers came on a disc because it wouldn't be a Chinese knockoff Wi-Fi adapter thing if its stuff didn't come on a disc. But it works. You can see I've got Wi-Fi. It's weak, but I do have it. Another thing, I did put in my LG Blu-ray drive. Contrary to what some people have said online, this does not work straight out of the box. It's not plug and play. You have to flash the specially formatted firmware from Make MKV Libre drive mode onto this drive to make it read 4K Blu-rays. But it does read 4K Blu-rays. It does rip them. It does rip 4K Blu-rays, though. It reads them. It rips them just fine. I've got my Lord of the Rings 4K set there without the artwork, and then Deadpool 2 I've ripped, and then Transformers Rise of the Beasts. The ripping process isn't what takes forever with 4Ks. It's converting them and formatting them to play on stuff that's not capable of high dynamic range. That part is what takes forever, and that's what you have to use Handbrake for, is scaling the 80, sometimes 90 gigabyte file down to about 3 or 4 gigs, and formatting it to a specific way that can play on non-HDR screens. It's a lot of technobabble, I know. It basically takes forever. The only Lord of the Rings movie that I have that's currently ready to play on any kind of device is Fellowship, and it's almost 7 gigs. This took 3 days. It took 3 days to finally render and complete to play in a format where it's capable of playing on anything that's not HDR related. I don't know if Windows will actually play it. VLC will, but I don't know if the Microsoft TV and Movies app will actually play that. Let's test it for a second here. Let's see. VLC basically plays anything. That's why I've switched over to that primarily. I haven't put it on this computer yet, but VLC will play virtually anything. But Microsoft Movies and TV might not. Yeah, missing codec. Okay, this item was encoded in a format that's not supported. So I had to format this in H.265, not H.264. H.265 is a more modern codec that is more optimized for 4K playback. But I think you have to download a special extension to play it on the Microsoft Movies and TV app. But this will play in VLC. Like I said, VLC will play virtually anything. Will Transformers Rise of the Beasts play? Probably not. It was encoded the same way. Okay, no. I did do this one in H.265. Never mind. Star Trek 2, though, that'll play. This is only a 1080p Blu-ray. This isn't a 4K release. Yep, this will play back perfectly fine. Look at that. Look at Khan. And then there's Deadpool 2. This is 2 gigs. Close to 3 gigs. Not bad. I don't know why Transformers Rise of the Beast is almost 10 gigs. Same thing with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Both of those are shorter than this Lord of the Rings film. Maybe it's because I did them in a weird codec before I learned how to actually optimize 4K playback. I'm sounding like I know what I'm talking about. I'm just learning all this stuff. This is a whole new world for me with ripping 4K Blu-rays and trying to preserve them in the best quality possible. That's not what I'm doing right now, though. Here's a funny story. You guys remember how I was talking about I wanted to get a SSD to run my operating system off of? Well, I have one, and I'm currently cloning my operating system through Macrium Reflect, very cool free software if you ever want to clone or image your hard drives, not through Windows's really weird and complicated formatting process that doesn't give you a lot of options. You can use Macrium, and I'm currently cloning my operating system onto this SSD down here, but hang on, I gotta tell you the story. So the reason I have this SSD is not because I bought it for myself. I actually bought it for Hope. It was going to be one of her Valentine's Day gifts. She had a 2012 MacBook Pro that was running really slow. And part of that was because, well, that's old hardware, but the biggest part of it was it has a mechanical hard drive in it. And me being the nice and giving person that I am, I'm hyping myself up there, I bought her that 500 gig SSD, and I was going to put it in her computer on Valentine's Day to make it run faster. Her uncle runs a pawn shop here in Louisville, and that's actually how she got her first MacBook, was her uncle sold it to her at a discount. She got another MacBook from him, a MacBook Air, I think it is, from 2020. Has the M1 chip and everything in it, has the new Apple specs. Beautiful computer. I mean, it's rose gold. It looks really nice. It runs well. But she bought it from him without knowing that I was going to upgrade her computer on Valentine's Day. She sends me a video like 2 days before Valentine's Day, like, hey, look, new MacBook, who this? I was like, well, this is going to make this gift awkward because it was the same day the SSD showed up. So instead of that, I bought her something else. I can't remember what it was. It might have been that Bluey plush I gave her. It's an inside joke. Don't ask. So I'm using the SSD now as a boot device on my new server. So I got something out of that deal at least. This clone process is probably going to take all day. The hard drive that's in this computer is not very big. It's only like 250 gigs, but it's a mechanical hard drive, and it's going to take it forever to clone, and it's going to make this system run much faster. Although I am tempering my expectations. This system is never going to be a powerhouse. It is a workhorse, though. It's an Optiplex 780. It's been running for years at this point. The processor's still going strong, but it is an older processor. It's like an Intel Core 2 Duo, I think it is. I think it's a Core 2 Duo. That's what it says on the front of the computer. I've never actually looked at the processor. I could probably check the specs. But it's an older processor. It's not going to run as quick as anything else in the world. It's not going to be like a 16-threaded Core Threadripper or anything like that. It's not going to be an AMD Ryzen 9 Threadripper or anything like that. Like, it's not going to do anything super fast, but it'll work for now until I decide to upgrade in the future. And it's going to work for just me as my own personal media server. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. I've got all my movies on 2 external hard drives that are going to plug into the back of this computer, and it's going to serve me well for at least another couple of years before I decide to upgrade. Hopefully at that point I'll be moved out and I can have more money to actually upgrade this in the future. But as of right now, I'm tricking this bad boy out. Are you sure you don't want to watch Crank Anchors with me?
That's so ugly. Please tell me you're not getting that. Are you saying I look like that?
No, I'm saying that you should watch Crank Anchors with me.
No, what? Have you ever even heard of that?
No, I have no idea what this is. It just looks funny.
No, put it away.
I think I should get it just to spite her. This is a good deal. $16 for the whole series of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Town, right?
What?
You like the movie Town?
Town?
Yes.
You want to grab it and show me what it is?
It's called Town. You've either seen it or you haven't.
I don't know. Where is it? That's The Town.
Oh. Have you ever seen... Oh, wait, no, hold on. Great Fairy Rescue. No, Tinkerbell and the Never Beast. Have you ever seen that?
Do I look like the kind of person who has seen Tinkerbell and the Never Beast? I'm not Jake Mark. How much I want for this? I already have all these James Bond movies though, but that's a nice set. Rick and Morty? Rick and Morty? Rick and Morty? Rick. There's one game that's been here for like the longest time, and I'm trying to see if it's still here. Call of Duty. It should be down here. If it's still here. I think it's gone. There was a copy of Cars Major National that has been here for like ever. It's been fluctuating in price for what feels like years.
Yeah, years.
And I think it's gone. I don't think it's here. That's crazy. Somebody bought
It's
it.
probably in the back.
Here, I'm gonna try to guess which PS5 game that you want.
Good luck. You already
No. 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 You want. Here we go. Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. That's what you want.
Rory McIlroy?
That's what you want.
No, I actually want this one.
You already have that on Switch, don't you?
No.
You don't? I thought you did.
No.
Well, buy it right now.
No, I'm not buying it.
Buy it. Where did this go?
That's a pretty powerful name, honestly.
Do you have that one?
Lando.
What are you doing?
Really?